Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Tuesday is what we're going to call it today. 73 right now as we head for that high. 88, 89, but don't worry. We've got storms just for you this afternoon. Your flowers may get wet after all. Somewhere between 2 and 9 p.m. level 1. Not anything horrifying, and we don't have anything that's listed as any tornadic activity, but some thunderstorms and maybe a little wind. Keep it in mind. Anyway, from late 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. tonight. We'll watch the weather for you. And it only increases as the week goes. Wednesday night, Thursday morning, daybreak more. And then late Thursday, which, again, we want to go out on a limb and say we may be talking again with the folks at the full moon on 5th. It may have to be postponed again.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on it. We've got to do a test run. We just hate that we're doing it this week, but we've got to do some tests on our new radar. The only way you can test a radar is by go through bad weather.
Yep. And my mic is working now. Your mic was working the whole time.
Oh, so they got to hear me and just saw you.
They could hear me, but not as good.
It's like a bad Japanese movie.
In the background there. We're so glad that you chose us to be a part of this. Sometimes my hand doesn't hit the button like it ought to. I'm getting better at that. See, Alan already telling me, check that microphone there. We're all over it. Dylan kept asking me why I wanted that. I got to have it. It's just habit.
I just want it. 40
years of my life of hitting a button and I cannot change. I'd be sitting up here just tapping stuff. It's like Greg was telling me he has to have a table when he talks. You get used to things in life.
So you need one of them fidget things that you punch the.
Odie, I remember when I started this, and I don't. You probably don't, but when I decided to do this, I sat down and I didn't even own a computer. And my daughter Madison had a computer, so I done a little test of what do y'all think type thing.
Yep.
And I didn't have buttons. I had to use a mouse to turn microphone. And I was the most confused human being there ever was until I got back in my atmosphere and saved up enough money to buy this bad boy over here.
Oh. Yeah, that's got to be tough.
Hey, Ann Hall, we're so glad that you decided to be with us this morning. Now, let me get the attention of folks that might live in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, maybe even a little bit of South Carolina, because I'm hooked on these, and I like them. And they say they may be contaminated in these states. As we go to Daily Mail, here's what's breaking this morning. Planters, as we look at this, they got two items here, the deluxe mixed nuts and also the Planters honey roasted peanuts. And those states are contaminated, and they're doing a big recall on them. Those honey roasted, they're contagious. You can't stop.
They are good. I like just a plain good old Spanish peanut.
How come you chose a Spanish peanut?
I grew up with them. That's what we stuck on ice cream, and that was the big peanut for Dairy Queen.
I have never heard it called a Spanish. I just heard it called a peanut.
The Spanish peanut's got the little red skin on it.
Have you got something against Jimmy Carter?
Oh, no, I like Jimmy. Except for the fact he gave away.
He may have given away Panama. Didn't know what he was doing, but outside of that, it's okay. He built a lot of houses in the end.
And he's still going, and he's fixing to be 100 years old, and he's still pushing the Word of God.
Yeah, they almost had put him away of saying he's in hospice, he doesn't have long, but he's like the Timex. He takes a lick and keeps on ticking.
They thought, well, his wife just died, and when she died, he was going to just kind of slowly go away. But
and we do see that a lot.
Yeah. But he hadn't. He has continued to push through. I know my mother would, they'd go on trips all the time over to Georgia and go to sit in his Sunday school class. And it hadn't been that awful long ago.
Now, Jimmy did have some problems or issues as president, but I'm telling you, he was a good man. He meant well by everything that he done. And after he got out of office, all that he did for the humanitarian side. That's a big word for me.
Well, now he's just the third worst president we ever had.
Well, that's true. We got one in office that may be number one. He's got that little thing he holds up number one when he walks out.
Yeah.
Who knows? Do y'all really realize we are 6 months away from that election? What's going to happen?
Ooh.
And I got a story later, if I can find it, to where they say that it's really only 6% of Americans that really will decide it, because everybody else has decided, and it will go down to those 3 states, and it's like an error margin of 1% in each state that will truly decide who becomes the 47th president of the U.S. of A.
Hey, who you gonna vote for? All right, let me mark that. They don't have a clue. They're
The
just
exit
guessing.
polls?
Yeah, even the exit polls are off, and they've
And
already voted.
do you think that Kennedy will take away from that independent voter that would have swayed one way or the other? Is that a factor?
If he hurts anything, I believe he's going to hurt the Democrat Party.
Well, what they're saying on that, their comeback on that is, well, the people that they're after are the independent people that aren't Democrats, and they feel that he's going to give them to Joe. Is that true or
I don't
not?
see that. If you look Kennedy up in the dictionary, it's going to have Democrat in parentheses.
It does, right beside his name there. Every one of them.
and
Chappaquiddick.
And people know that. Democrat.
Maybe you
Kennedy.
didn't watch that episode of Saturday Night Live when they had the do you not remember that? They were doing like a Family Feud thing when he was running for president.
I can't remember.
They go,
that.
Chappaquiddick. It wasn't the answer to everything, but it sure was funny back in the day. Okay. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm the only
one of
one
them.
that old enough to remember that in the room.
And I like the original Saturday
Yeah.
Night Live. This new stuff,
The Beavis and Butthead thing a few weeks ago was kind of funny. I got to give him credit on that. You would have probably made one of those a good character of one of those.
Oh, man, I could have had fun. That episode where they were watching cops and they were like, oh, that house looks kind of familiar.
Stacy says she'll never watch Biden again holding up his finger and feel the same way.
He's just trying to figure out which way the wind is blowing.
Well,
Nobody told him they were indoors.
popcorn's coming to a visit to the White House later today, I'm sure, to tell him what to do. But I've never seen a person, and I don't mean this ugly. You may be a true tried and a Democrat watching, and we're glad to have you. If you're Republican, we're glad that you're here.
We've
to be
got one in
independent.
Clark County that comments all the time.
But for someone that can hear somebody else tell a story, and then 15 minutes later, it's their story, and he was a truck driver. And as we've done the research, he rode in one.
One time.
I can remember 7 years old, my uncle called me from Briggs 5 Point in Scuba and said, I'm passing through going to Memphis. Do you want to ride with me, the water dog? And man, I was excited. We went over and I got to ride in an 18-wheeler with a bunch of cows behind us all the way to Memphis and back home. And it was
So
fun.
you drove one too,
I
didn't
did too. So me and Joe have something in common.
But don't forget now, his granddaddy got eaten by cannibals.
Oh, I forgot about that one. We're not sure how Joe got here after that. But it just goes on and on of the, do you call them blur? What do you call them? Goofs? Gaffs?
No, that's when somebody just makes a mistake. That's an outright lie.
Okay, let's go ahead and call it. We're sometimes the truth hurts, but, well, it's our job to tell you when it hurts.
Sorry if that hurt your feelings.
There are some people going, no, Odie, please don't say it. Again, already 10 minutes after the hour, we got something big that's going to happen right here in a little old Meridian, Mississippi that's going to be heard the world around, or the United States at least. Our man Ed is fixing to take off on a bicycle, and it ain't going to be fun. We're going to tell you his route, what he's doing, and he's helping others. It all happens out of Meridian, Mississippi, all the way across the U.S. of A.
While we're at commercial, call everybody or send a text to everybody and say, look, y'all have got to log on. You got to go to Scotty Ray and Odie and listen to what we've got coming up next. It's that important.
It is. It's a big thing here. Ed's with us next at the Scotty Ray Report. Where's my... Oh, there it is, Odie.
The Preserve at Meridian is the premier senior living community in the Meridian area, offering independent living cottages, assisted living, and maintain their independence and pursue an engaging lifestyle with a robust activities calendar, personalized care programs, wellness activities, restaurant-style dining, and much more. Call or visit us online today at preserveatmeridian.com to schedule your personal tour.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in-store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose our pharmacy, you're choosing a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community. Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Welcome back. Don't forget to get your birthday into us. We'll give away a coffee mug in a little while to a lucky person listening in this morning, or your anniversary, whatever it is you have going on. Again, as money being raised, as well, you hear it, and well, this group's doing this, that, and the other, but sometimes it really hits home for people that absolutely need it. Ed is in with us this morning, who's going to be grabbing a bicycle and doing something. Let's turn the camera over there and take a look at it.
Yeah.
Ed, how in the world are you?
I'm doing fine, Scotty Ray. Thank you so much for having me.
Dude, you're grabbing a bicycle, and you will, am I understanding this right, riding a bicycle all the way across the United States?
Right. So this race is called RAM, R-A-A-M. It stands for Race Across America. It's the world's toughest race. And it's 3,071 miles. You have 12 days to do it. You go through 3 deserts. You start in Oceanside, California.
Makes me want to sing Went Through the Desert with a Horse or no name.
Well, you go through three mountain ranges, which is about 175,000 feet of climbing. You go through the winds of Kansas, and you finish in Annapolis or Atlantic City now.
So, and who does the money that you raise go to help?
So I'm raising money for Hope Village. This is my big charity this year. We're going to raise $1 million. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's
and they cover all 82 counties in Mississippi.
It sure does, and I need people from Mississippi to know that because, Sheila Ward started this 22 years ago, just about, and it is just with the Catholic Church too. My church helped create that. Hope Village was part of it and instrumental in getting this off the ground, and it's magnificent. I met the kids a couple of times, and being a teacher for 30 years, I've taught a lot of those kids at Meridian when I was at Meridian High and at West Lauderdale. And the money raised. Now, explain this. After they're in a home, and this money goes to do what for them? Okay, so when I started talking to some of the executors at Hope Village, I said, I'm going to ride a bike. I'm going to do it regardless, and I'd like to attach it to Hope Village because it's close to my heart. And there's so much need for refurbishing some of the older buildings, and one of the things that they're now starting, and they'll be the only one in the state, they want to put up, and I know it's hard to talk about, but we have a need for a sex trafficking building. And,
yes, we do.
And I hate to say it because I told her, I said, I don't know if I'll attach it to it, but when we go across the country and we say, hey, we're raising money for sex trafficking, people kind of
shy away from it.
Yeah,
so
and so, but that's one of the things that we want this money to go to, is to refurbish that building in the back, because unfortunately these children are so, have such problems that they need to be separated from, the rest of the kids, and they need special,
care.
Absolutely.
It's a very expensive and daunting task to take on. It is,
but it's heartbreaking on top of all that.
It is, and that particular building is actually where my aunts were raised.
Right. Yeah.
My dad, my uncles was raised in Columbus, and so an orphanage is something that's dear to my heart because that's where my family came from.
Right.
And to see Sheila Ward take over it and building it up, those buildings are in need of repair. And it is, when you're 18, you're basically on your own. You've got to find out what you're going to do next.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that, and I've said this a dozen times to other groups. Great. These kids come in with a lot of despair, but they leave with dignity. These kids are all incredible. What they do at Hope Village, I mean, we went up there for a family day, and my son is being led through these beautiful cottages that Sheila and others, with the donations that came in through the city of Meridian, were able to build, beautiful places. And my kid comes out, he's 18, and he says, man, Dad, I want to live here. And I'm like, okay, remember why we're here, but I understand it. We need to continue to do that. And there's a lot of kids that are in need. And they have, those kids that turn 18 that are aged out, we have transition homes. And if they have a job, if they're going to school, we can take some of them. But again, it's extremely costly. And I don't think people in Mississippi know that this covers everything. Everybody said, well, it's for Meridian kids. No, it's not. In fact, we don't really can't. We don't want, because they run. So to have a Meridianite, they're going to run. But kids from other parts of the county is different. But that's why we're doing this. And
now,
I mean,
you're going to do what and how? Let me back up to that.
Yes, Bob. It's at the old Masonic home, Bob.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Yeah. So in 36 days, we'll be in Oceanside, California, and we will start this race. And since 1982, there's only been 369 soloists that's completed it. When we say it's the world's toughest race, it really is. You know, back during ABC Wide World of Sports, they used to showcase this. And I remember as a little kid watching this, because I've been cycling since I was 14 and racing since I was 15. So I remember watching this, but I was never enthusiastic about doing 3,000 miles. Now I can't. I've been living, breathing, and eating it for the last 6 years. I can't wait. I can't wait to get on that bike. I can't wait to make that first pedal stroke.
Just to make people understand what's happening, you're starting out somewhere around here.
Right
and you're
outside
going
of San Diego.
All across through here over to the eastern border of the United States on a bicycle.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that also I see on your flyer is not only are you going that distance, we have what we call around here Sand Mountain, and it's just a little old bitty hill. You're going to be going through mountains and vertical rise of what you'll be doing from one end to the other is over 170,000.
Yeah, so we go through the Sierra Nevada, and you know, after you got done through the Arizona desert and California deserts, but Sierra Nevada, and then you get to the Rocky Mountains. And the biggest climb in the Rockies is going to be what they call Wolf Creek Pass. And that's 11,000 vertical feet.
Yeah, C.W. McCall wrote a song about that.
Yeah.
And them chickens.
But that's the one that's probably going to, you know, another thing, as you can tell, and I'm sure your audience can, I'm a heavy rider. I am the heaviest rider.
The flying freight train.
Yeah, that's what they call
That's what they call him.
The flying freight train.
It's on all my race kits, and you know I've embraced it.
Might better get you some knee pads there. I'm just telling you, when you come down that mountain and it won't slow down.
Yeah, that's another
These
thing.
are the things
I
think about.
That's where he catches up with the skinny people.
One of my dear friends, he's probably 120 pounds, so he's 100 pounds less than I am because I'm 220. And I remember he said, "You're the flying freight train." I said, "Stop making fun of my weight." And he goes, "No, I'm not. You're the person that keeps going." He says, "You know, we're doing 100 miles today. You're doing 2. We're doing 60, and you're still going." And it's just like, that's why I'm calling you the flying freight train, because you never stop.
Now, this is 15 states as I look at this. Atlantic City, if you make it. What is the state that you're scared of as I look at my map here? Which one of these?
Believe it or not, Kansas, because of the winds.
Yeah. People don't think about that, but that's a serious situation when you're riding a bike and you got wind against you or maybe behind you. Let's say some Irish prayers.
Or beside you and push you off.
Yeah. Now, what is your part in this? Magnolia Mouth Media.
Magnolia Mouths Media. My part is I am crew. There's going to be
10 of us. 10 of us.
10
Yes,
crew
ma'am.
members. We have to make sure that I am covering media first and foremost. That's
Right.
my big part. But we have to make sure that he eats. I crewed with him before because he talks me into things. He uses that teacher card still.
Yeah.
In my 40s, he's still pulling that card. But Ed will, maybe not be interested in drinking, or maybe he just wants water, but he needs electrolytes. So the crew, we have to know the weather. We have to know navigation so we don't get penalized and take a wrong turn. We have to make sure he eats, that he has electrolytes, his
Do y'all
calories.
just pull up beside him and squirt water like you do? You see in these big races.
Basically,
they do at NASCAR?
yes. And we yell at him.
Yeah.
And we yell, yeah.
All right, so a favorite candy is Skittles?
Yeah, the thing
Are we
is
gonna have
that,
Skittles with us?
the thing with eating, a lot of this stuff is based off of science. You know, there's so many different ways I could have done this. We did that bike around Mississippi last summer to get an idea of what worked, what didn't work. And so a lot of the stuff that I'll do, one meal will be like a McDonald's, believe it or not, and it's good because it's fatty and it's greasy and it's stuff that sticks to your bones. But the other stuff is going to be Just a lot of protein, a lot of carbohydrates. And like Anna said, the drinking is the most important part. You know, we get in trouble all the time because we don't have enough. One of the big problems with a race like this is you start to bloat. And if you start to bloat, you need sugar. So we have a nurse that's with us.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean,
We're
that's going to be
fortunate.
kind of a big thing. I got a nurse, I got a massage therapist, I have a nutritionist. My crew chief is my best friend of almost, God, we've been friends for over 40 years, and he's from Vermont. His wife is my nurse. And then
You've got to have this week.
Well, the thing is we Zoom a lot during our meetings, and one of the greatest meetings we had was with a race official who's from from Mississippi, but he lives also in New Mexico, and Johnny Boswell's his name, and he came out and said, look, I'm going to let y'all know this is a great crew. Kevin, I love everything you've said. I can't believe you haven't crewed before. You sound like you've crewed a dozen races. He said, but I will tell you this, Ed is a monkey on a bike. He's just pushing pedals. If you don't make it, it's going to be your fault, the crew's fault. And then I went, thank you. Because the whole time I'm sitting there going, God, I'm not going to make this. I'm not going to make this. Now I have an excuse.
And I'm over here like pressure.
You know, my crew screwed me up. But no, all joking aside, the best thing about our crew is that, we all love each other. Mm-hmm. There'll be problems, because, they're doing just as much as I am. They're going to be there for 15, 16 days almost,
I'm going to
17.
speak for the other people. We're doing more.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, like I said, when he said
Sleep
you're a monkey on a
deprivation,
bike,
so
that's what
many-
I am. All I'm doing is pushing pedals. That's it. They're doing everything for me. They're telling me, here, you got to put down I'm going to get maybe 2 hours of sleep a night if I'm lucky. If I can make that, I need to make no less than 270 a day.
Huh.
On days.
I've got a couple questions, but we need to take a break before
We'll be
we
back
go to
on.
that. And
We got more coming up with Ed. We'll find out. We got some headlines. We're going to find out what went on in Meridian yesterday. We got that next, and we'll talk more with Ed on the way with Scotty Ray and Odie. We'll be right back. Are you looking for a job that could last a lifetime? Structural Steel is hiring now. With employees that have been there from 20 to 40 years, they're family owned and operated since 1975. Competitive starting wages, a 401k package, and great insurance. Immediate openings on the day shift and night shift. From entry-level helpers, welding and tacking, grinding and fitting. And the list goes on of job openings. Start your future today at Structural Steel. Call 483-5381.
Downtown Meridian is thriving with a fresh look, and now it's getting a new neighbor. Toyota of Meridian is now open under new hometown leadership. We're bringing automotive knowledge and experience home with a focus on improved customer satisfaction and all-new pricing. Toyota of Meridian is excited to serve the Queen City and exceed your expectations.
I'm Trinard Rush, and I want to invite you to Toyota Meridian, where hometown pride drives excellence.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, day beds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
And welcome back, your friend Scotty Ray along with Odie. And as we get into today, what happened last night, there were initially reports that there had been gunfire and a car hit. Uh-oh. As the police arrived on scene, they would find it be a little bit different, as we reported to begin with. As we find out, in the end, it ended up being vandalism, is what they would call it, in the 3600 block of 29th Street.
With a gun?
Well, there's a lot of, I don't know. But they changed it. Someone reported, hey, my car's been hit.
So it was really a rock.
Maybe.
It was going really, really fast.
Yes, I guess you could explain it.
It had some gunpowder.
It could have had that behind it too.
Oh, okay. So,
one of those high slingshots.
Yeah.
We would also we got to congratulate somebody. Let me pull this up here. This is big news for this group here. Look at that scoreboard. What does that say there, Odie?
Woo,
Tight
it means
game.
Home has got one more point than the visitors.
That's right. Congratulations to Clarkdale. They are now headed to South State champ game. That is big deal.
That is pretty good. West
So-
Lauderdale, for y'all keeping score, won their had to do game last night.
Yeah.
So now
big
they're
deal.
1-1, and I don't know when the next game is. Probably tomorrow night. I think they'll have a day off, and then they get back at it. So we'll keep up with them. But Clarkdale, congratulations.
Yes, sir, Bob. Now, let's go to a disturbance that happened in the West Lauderdale area yesterday. I couldn't help but notice the several Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department cars passing me, so I thought, wow, this is a great idea to follow those guys, see what they're doing. So here we go. I felt like Richard Schwartz, just right up in the chase in the middle of things. We arrive on the scene here on Wilsondale Road. And what would we find? Gunshots rang out.
Uh-oh.
We had someone who was hit as investigators are on scene as they're getting ready to move in here. When we first got there, Odie, Metro ambulance arrived. We've got video of it leaving. It would be some form of an argument. We hadn't gotten all the details. And again, this is still being investigated. But it would be some type of argument which led to a handgun being picked up and boom. And, well, let me run a little bit faster to get away from you since you've got that item. And that's what happened. Hid behind the home, and his sheriff's deputies combed the area looking for the person who had been hit. They eventually did find him. Then the ambulance was brought in. First time I've seen anything quite like that.
It wasn't in his pinky toe, was it?
No, he was in the old leg there, and he was kind of limping along as they got him. But he hid well in the tall grass. And I guess I would do the same thing.
You gonna hide with a gunshot? Was you hiding from the police, or was you hiding from the bullet?
I don't know, but he felt it'd be a good idea there to stay low at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. Now, again, it's no serious injury. It's not life-threatening, but anytime that you're hit with a stray bullet like that, okay, it wasn't stray, but if you're hit with a bullet, it's concern. We've got video of that if you'd like to watch that, of what went on there yesterday afternoon. We also got to say a good job to all this is like what I'm going to call the rat race in Meridian. It is who can get there first before the road ends. I'm not saying this happened in this instant. I'm just telling you what I have witnessed as driving down North Hill Street as the 4-lane goes into 1 lane.
Well, now that spot is a rat
And again,
race.
I'm not saying this is what happened here. It was an accident, but I've been there. And let's pull up here and show some pictures here of what went on as we start there. This car is hit on the side. This car is hit there. And as you can tell, it narrows down. We don't know exactly what went on. I didn't get the police report, but one of the cars had some children in it. They're okay, but a scary little situation as that came about. Traffic was blocked, and let me just warn you, I learned something very important there. When the road is blocked and I was trying to get to Highway 39, I am not taking a right and going down near Country Club because I sat there 45 minutes inching along. Traffic is major through there.
It is a huge thoroughfare.
I would have been better to gone back up to Windmill and come out on 39 and went around all that. But just keep in mind, it's going to be very slow travel if you ever take a right and have to go back through the neighborhoods.
Yes, it will.
Meridian Fire Department done a great job while they were on scene there helping out everybody. And that gives you a general idea. See, this is where it turns to 2-lane right there, Odie. And off in the bushes you will go.
But one car can fit.
That's right.
Now, here's something with Meridian Police Department.
Tell me.
I've got to say a welcome back.
Cotta?
Now, the welcome back Cotta. It doesn't start till tomorrow.
What's back?
But today is his last day, and David D.P. McQueen is coming back to MPD. He starts back tomorrow. And I tell you, I know there's a lot of people that miss him being an officer with Meridian Police Department. He's been truly missed at Meridian Police
Absolutely. He works a lot of the downtown area, helps people. There isn't anybody any nicer, any better. McQueen is it. So if y'all haven't seen, pat him on the back. Is it tomorrow you say he starts?
Tomorrow he starts. So today's his last day with on his long vacation. We've been waiting for him to come back. And tomorrow he is back on the force again.
We'll see if we can't get some pictures of him trying to do his job.
We're going to find him, yeah.
We got a bridge out this morning if you're making plans to leave home to go somewhere. Let me show you here. Ponta Hills is where it's going to be a little delay this morning as we get this from the road and bridge folks here. This is Ponta Hills, Chapel Road area right there. It's going to be temporarily shut down this morning beginning at 8:30 till about 2 o'clock this afternoon, Odie.
Ooh.
So make your arrangements to go a different route. It could be a hold up there for you for a little while. We don't want you to be caught up in that. I need to, before we go back to our next segment, I want to say congratulations to somebody. I can remember as a kid this being just way cool when you catch a big fish.
That's a nice one there.
And we want to say congratulations here to Connor Cannon, who went fishing with his grandpa yesterday and caught him a big fish. 21 inches long there.
We call that a big old bass.
Yes, we do. Largemouth it is. So congratulations to Connor. That's a big deal there. Like that a whole bunch there. We'll be right back. We're going back in history. We're going to test everybody in the room, make sure they know everything that happened in history on this day. It's next. More coming up with Ed as we find about this bicycling trip across the U.S. of A. We'll be right back.
Just $41 a month for this new Brother embroidery machine. Buy it local and get instructions for life, service, financing, the lowest price guaranteed, and take it home today at the Sewing and Vacuum Center in Meridian and so Select in Flowood and Hattiesburg.
Your next appliance is waiting on you at All Temp Appliance and Refrigeration on Highway 19 North. If you've been trying to locate a freezer, drop by and see their big selection of upright and chest freezers. A showroom full of stoves, gas, and electric. Maybe it's a new refrigerator from large double doors to the simplest of refrigerators. Name brand washers and dryers like Speed Queen, Amana, and delivery is available. With a great service department to back up what they sell. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. and by appointment after hours and weekends. Summertime has arrived and Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 has the exact lawnmower for your need. If you've got a big yard with acres and acres to mow, they have a mower for that. No matter the size yard you have, Freeman Tractor has the lawnmower that fits you and your budget. From 48-inch all the way up to 60, or the X-Mark lawnmower. Plenty of these to choose from. Also, they carry a complete line of LS tractors. Come by for a test drive today. Financing available. Drop in today to Freeman Tractor, Highway 494, see coleslaw or buttermilk.
Fantasy Cottage Floral and Gifts is located in downtown Quitman, directly across the street from the post office. They are your one-stop shop for all of your floral and gift-giving needs. They have everything you need to make those you care about feel special, from a fully stocked gift shop to roses, mixed flower arrangements, and plants. Whether it be a special occasion or just because, remember them in your time of need for all of your funeral floral arrangements. Call on Fantasy Cottage Floral and Gifts at 601-776-3010.
And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. And Odie, as we wake up to 73, wouldn't head for a high of about 89 today.
Ooh, it's going to be. And then we got the little storm that might come through. But I wish it'd hold off. I've got to cut some grass this afternoon.
You ain't going to cut it this afternoon there, Odie.
I was afraid
Got
of
to
that.
wait a little while. I don't think you're going to be able to cut it tomorrow or the next day.
That's
But
tough. I
I'm
lost my
pulling for you
dog
for
in it.
Saturday.
I lost my dog in it last night.
You can. You know my wife ain't going to let that happen.
No.
Get that eye Angie's all over. Woof, and it's
Oh,
gone.
yeah. There ain't no more grass.
Let's go back to 1789. It was a big night up in D.C. as they had their very first of its kind.
First one ever.
Martha got all dolled up, and, we had our first presidential ball tonight. They had everything going on at different times.
1789.
It's been a little while there.
Been a little bit.
Got to have a big throwdown after George got to the White House.
I wonder if he was using his wooden teeth.
I'm going to let you investigate that. Are the wooden teeth still around, or did that end up in a museum?
I'm sure it's in a museum somewhere.
You know, last week, I don't know if you saw this, they dug up some fruit that was in jars underneath Mount Vernon. Did you hear about that?
No.
Where they kept it in the ground to keep cool. I forget what it was. It'll come to me in a little bit, but that actually happened.
Fruit? I bet that stuff was fermented.
We had a horrible tornado in 1840 hit the great state of Mississippi. It would hit Natchez, Mississippi, killing 317 people on this day. Of course, at that point in time, we had no warnings whatsoever to let anybody know what was going to happen. But that's been quite a while ago. One of my favorite all-time movies would have to be Sergeant York, a true American hero from the hills of Tennessee. If you've never watched that movie, do so. And they held it pretty close to what happened in it. But there was a guy that played the character of Sergeant York. He would be in a lot of like High Noon and other movies. A guy named Gary Cooper. He was born on this day in 1901. And go back. It's black and white. But if you want to really get a feel for what America used to be, boy, that right there captured all those Germans by itself.
We won't ever go back to that again.
No, we won't. But very, very important. You would be shocked as to how many influential people went down on this ship as it was hit and would spark a war. 1915, the Lusitania went down on this date as a torpedo struck that. Wow. 1,959 passengers and crew. Had 128 Americans on it, and it was a lot of rich folks up on it. It was the who's who of who during that time.
I'm glad the price of cruising came down.
Oh, yes, it did. It did. This guy, whether or not you know him or not, you've heard the name of the song, the Chattanooga Choo Choo. Well, it was recorded on this day in 1941. He would be an all-time great as we go back to remember Glenn Miller recording that famous song of the Chattanooga Choo Choo. And always in my head, every time I see it, I always think of the war girls, with the hats and the skirts doing that. Maybe it was just the Stantler brothers that caused that from their Saturday night show on TNN. Who knows there? 1945, this is a big day. Before we went live, we were all sitting around and talking about what has gone on in the world, what happened to the Jewish folks. Today in 1945, unconditional, the Nazis surrendered today as we remember that. Germany surrendered. And that was a serious time. And folks, if you're sitting there going, I wonder if that happened, it did. It's history. Do not sit back and think that all of those bad things didn't go on. They did. People suffered.
Yes, they did.
Read your history books as to what went on. I'll get off my little box case there. 1949, my hero. He had him a #1 song today in America. We would only know that had we only known that he only had a few short years left with us to end a career that, still today is known. Because he had a feeling called the Lovesick Blues as we go back to Hank Williams having a #1 song on this date. Now, I don't care who you are, he is good. And I'll argue with you no matter what over there.
Change your mind on that one.
Whew, man, what a writer he was. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers watching Johnny Carson. But this guy would sit down and do an interview with him, and I still go back and watch the interview, and I laugh and I roll. He was a professional boxer, and he described his boxing experience in the ring with this other guy that whooped up on him.
Yeah, they got whooped.
And he said, if I'd only had another 20 rounds, I was catching on to why I was losing. And he said, they started out with a tactic, you're getting him, he's getting weaker. And he said, then I could tell about halfway through that strategy wasn't working. And it probably was the funniest thing that I've ever seen. He would go on from boxing to be in just about somebody in a movie. He was in Police Academy, Ace Ventura, Liar, Naked Gun. This guy was in it. Anybody remember him? Randall Tex Cobb.
So, what happened? Well, his glove met my face one too many times.
So you remember?
I'm the same way. I mean, that is one of the funniest interviews.
He is so quick-witted as to describe what happened to him.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go back and watch it now after you done said that. He was even in Highlander and also Miami Vice, moonlighting, and even played a bad guy in Texas Ranger. Boy, if you make it
he
Texas
got whooped
Ranger.
in that one, too, didn't he?
He said it paid a lot more.
Yeah. Oh, talking about Welcome Back.
Yeah, Welcome Back, Carter. And as we go back to remember this, he played Juan in Welcome Back, Carter. There's a lot of you. And then there's some of you watching that go, Welcome Back, who?
Mr. Carter.
Yeah,
Mr.
school
Carter.
teacher that came back to teaching his old. Well, there he is.
Yeah.
Robert, do you pronounce that Haggis?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
We're gonna wing it and call it that this morning. Then we may not be right, but it'll be okay.
Chances are we're not.
Yeah, whoops.
But it'll be all right.
He even appeared in a few episodes of that awful TV show, Cagney and Lacey, which absolutely no one cared about, especially me.
I'm going to get you some of these glasses.
It just, which glasses?
Them.
Oh, now.
I wear my sunglasses.
Yeah, but that's kind of close. I did get to ride with Sheriff Anthony Chancellor once, and he has the greatest hits on his phone. And we sat back and we listened to Rocket Man. I said, go ahead.
So
Anthony.
He's got the Elton John's greatest hits.
He does. But it would be today in 1968 that he decided that he liked the name Elton John. There was two fellows backstage with him, one named Elton something and another guy named John something. He goes, look, guys, I'm going to steal your names. Is it okay? And they said, sure. And well, upon this date in 68, it was launched. Elton John took to the stage under that name for the first time.
Anthony, tell me you got that for Harold, that you go by when Barry's out of town and feed Harold, that you play this for him.
And if y'all ever think, why is Anthony Chancellor smiling when he jumps? He's been listening to Elton John. He's a big Elton fan.
He's a little happy.
He's happy all the time. 1970, what was the number one song in America? Well, it'd be more my kind of music. I certainly like this because we didn't wear sandals and we don't smoke dope there either. Well, they do now. It's all over America as it's changed. As we go back for Okie from Muskogee, the mighty Merle Haggard had it today. Number one in America. Don't get no better than that.
No, Merle.
We don't make a party out of loving either. Boy, they sure do that now. I'll leave it at that. Boy, everything in that song has been, well, flip-flopped, and they all do it. Think about that.
Ooh, yeah.
Walking on the fighting side of me, as he once said. Charlie Rich, Mr. I'm High as a Georgia Pine while I'm here on stage, also had a number one song. No one knows what goes on behind closed doors. We do now. He was smoking dope.
Yeah, he was getting high as a pine.
But it was a number one song for him back in those days, and little did America know what went on behind closed doors. Well, we're here to tell you the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. That's what went on. It would be the first time, 1977, a crippled Crown winner. She passed away.
Say that 3 times fast.
Triple.
You can't even say it one time.
That was downright mean of you because you knew I couldn't say it. Odie, what was it?
It was the Triple Crown winner.
It sure was. She'd passed away at the age of 28. Is this the one secretary that they made the movie about?
That's what I'm thinking it is.
I think so. But a big deal there is that doesn't happen very often. Yeah.
Do that one more time.
If you ain't never watched it, and I'm going to say this was a B movie, but one that made me roll on the floor, and every time I think of it, I laugh. Cheech and Chong. You remember Cheech? He did a movie called Shrimp on the Barbie. And he was hired. He's this guy. He's like a bum. And this rich girl hires him to make her daddy mad and think that she's going to marry him. So she takes him home for the weekend. She goes, look, anything you do, just be rude, crude, and ugly. And she has this first cousin that lives in the house that's really into horses. He's going down the hall, and she asks him to brush her hair. And he takes the brush out, and he makes one stroke through her hair. She goes, she goes, faster. She starts going,
you know we're live on TV. This isn't one of those behind-the-scene moments.
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then she jumps at him.
So she galloped too?
Yeah. And then it was funny. Let's go back to Cheers. 1987. I think America loved this show as they went to the bar. You've been there.
Yep.
It would be the last appearance that Shelley Long would make on the show. Do you remember her character?
Yep.
There she go. She left the show after that. She was such a beautiful girl. And she'd done such great interviews. Liked her a whole lot.
I told you, half of that bar is shut down.
Yeah.
You know, they don't use the whole bar. You walk in, there's only half of it that you can see. They only open it for the show. I don't know about now.
Somebody said they dated a girl like that.
Seattle slew the
crippled
Sheriff Todd Kemp.
Go ahead.
It was the Triple Crown winner in 1977.
And I keep trying to say cripple instead of triple. What is wrong with me today? It would be 1988 that it would come to an end. I know that there's a lot of you who like Trudy and all her friends, but it would end today as the facts of life became no more. Joe and all of them would have to go get a real job.
And you know, Blair does that when you collect a collector's item show. Have you seen it?
I missed it.
Where you've got somebody who, is all out on collectors for a particular deal.
Yeah.
And
like
they
if
go
you had
through and showcase that.
Like if you had a comic book, they'd come take a look at it.
Well, no, it's got to be like a whole room full of comic books. It's a major
a junkie home is what you're really saying.
And then you've got somebody else that kind of gives you a value of what everything they've got is, and then somebody wants something of your
collector's call.
Collector's call. That's exactly
come to my house and look at my mini Christmas trees that I might own that I'm not aware of, or what they're worth.
Well, but they'll all come out. You got a whole shed just to hold.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
It's a pretty good little show if you hadn't seen it.
1988, thank goodness they finally got rid of this show. It ended. Whew, Spencer for Hire, they pulled the plug on it. Robert,
I watched a few of them.
He done much better as Dan Tanner in Vegas. Let's just be honest about it. Spencer for Hire, he didn't catch on. 1994, Roy's little boy there that he didn't know about had a #1 hit in America. Clint Black, #1 with Good Run of Bad Luck. Even the cowboy hat looked fake at that time. He was Mr. Hollywood driving Porsches, and, well, he didn't fit back in with country music at all anymore.
This is a sad
This
day
is
for
this
me.
is sad.
Man, this is a sad day.
We lost a show that affected all of us. I often watch reruns with Greg and think it's still alive.
My favorite
Matlock
show.
came to an end.
My favorite show.
I mean, was he not good or what?
Yes, he was.
And if I remember right, Trevette was also on there for a short time also as one of his investigators, wasn't he?
Well, he was on there for a little while, but yeah.
And he would
was
go
on there
on
for a long time.
become a Texas Walker, Texas Ranger.
Texas Ranger.
What is? I got a tongue-tying thing today, Odie.
It's Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday the tongue twister.
I got $2 in a jukebox, $5 in a bottle if that don't do the trick. As we go back to remember every which way but loose, Eddie Rabbit passed away on this date. You would see him hanging out with the Solid Gold Dancers on Saturday night, and the rest of country music got mad about it. Said, you can't do that. And he said, well, I wrote a song for Elvis, and y'all can just, well, forget it. I'm not going to say what he said. I love a rainy night. Boy, there was good stuff that he done. Suspicions. He just done it all there. As we go back to 02.
Talked about this yesterday.
Sure did. Oh, brother, where art thou? Woohoo! Certified shipments of 6 million. It was still going strong. I cannot tell you how long that album was out.
In here today.
We would lose a Mississippi legend today. There's no other way to word this.
That's all.
Worldwide, this man is known just by his initials.
That's right. B.B. King.
We would lose a great man today.
What was the name of
Lucille?
Lucille was his guitar.
They all claimed that it happened to be a woman that caught the honky-tonk on fire. Her name was Lucille, and he went back to retrieve his guitar, and, well, that's how it came to be known as Lucille. We also lost another guy. Don't the girls get prettier at closing time? Well, an 8 begins to look like a number 10. And you wake up with a number 1, and you swear you'll never do it again. Mickey Gilley.
Go to bed at 2 with a 10 and wake up at 10 with a 2.
That's about what he said. Yeah. Pretty close to that. He had many, many hits there. And, of course, if you don't know, he was the first cousin to Jimmy Swaggart and Jerry Lee. They all had talent from Louisiana, born in Mississippi, and they moved across that line. Down in Natchez, if I'm not mistaken, is where he was born. So just so you'll know all that. That kind of wraps up this day in history. Ed's coming back up. More and more information as we start your Tuesday. Scotty Ray and Otis. Or Odie.
It doesn't matter what you call
What do you want to be called today?
Either one of them.
Okay, all right, we're working on it. We'll be right back.
Mow, dig, haul, trench. The reliable Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor is highly capable. A smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation and versatile attachments that help you handle the job. The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North, is ready for spring. From weed eaters to push and riding lawnmowers, and one of the largest selections you'll find in chainsaws, along with power tools and generators for backup power. Maybe you're in the market for a TV or maybe a guitar. And not to mention a large selection of diamond rings and Louis Vuitton purses. The Rock House Gun and Pawn even has a private lobby for your pawns for confidentiality. Visit them today, Highway 19 North, Rock House Gun and Pawn. Welcome back. Odie's sister already calling Odie names early this morning.
Yeah.
We'll remind you, beginning at 9 o'clock this morning, Dumpont Plaza, there's going to be a little run coming up this morning as, well, local law enforcement will head out. Here it is. The torch run begins at 9 o'clock from Dumpont Plaza. Hope you can make it out for that and support that. I remember they passed me with a torch last year, and I thought, what are you guys doing? Well, this is what it's all about.
You didn't help them run with it?
No. I don't do running.
Okay.
Because I'd pass out.
You could have walked real fast.
I don't think I could have kept up, Odie. I walked down that hill at North Hill Street yesterday, and I thought, whoo, I need a break. Somebody bring me some water.
Nick, can I get a ride back up that hill?
That's right. Ed, I want you to recap with us when you're going to be taking off for your big bike ride to help raise money here in Meridian for the kids. Tell us who, what, when, and how as we flip this camera back over to you to take a look at you there.
Right, so we're going to be leaving Mississippi on June 6th, and we'll head out to California, Oceanside, which is right outside of San Diego. My race will start on June 11th, and we have the soloists. We have 12 days to complete it. So it'll be 3,071 miles in 12 days, which is, if everything goes well, approximately 270 miles a day. On good days, 320, 330.
Is that a tall order?
Well, yeah, depending on, what the terrain is like. Like in the mountains, because of my weight, it's going to be taxing.
Me and Odie have learned a thing or two in life. If you take a rope and tie it to the back of a minivan, it would be a whole lot easier to just hold your feet
I
up.
was thinking about that, but I think they'll give me they'll probably
disqualified.
A thin wire that's not real
Fishing
visible.
line. Fishing line will help. Me and Odie would be, let's slide this bike in this van and let's go on down the road about 60 miles.
You ever thought about getting a double? You go to this state, I'll go
Let
to
me
the
tell you
next.
something, Odie. I do a lot of riding. I put in almost 14,000 miles this year, and there's a lot of times I think, man, I wonder, God, I wish I had another brother.
Yeah.
Somebody to help.
Now,
We're going to try and do a little where's Ed? And try and keep up and let everybody know where you are.
Is it too late to add any sponsors, or are y'all still
Absolutely
seeking
not.
money?
I'm going to let Anna take over now and tell you, because we really, like I said, we're going to raise $1 million for Hope Village. So anything and everything goes to Hope Village, and we're so blessed that they allowed us to attach our race to their charity, make them my charity,
The home is here, but it serves kids from all over the state of Mississippi.
82 different counties all throughout the state of Mississippi.
It covers the state. It provides a lot. These kids go to college. It's also a large employer in Meridian. I had no idea how much Hope Village does, and I'm from Meridian. I just went and toured last fall. I did a little coverage on them on Magnolia Mounts Media. We are going to raise $1 million, period, for Hope Village for Children to help the state of Mississippi. You can text RACE, RACE, 2024 to the number 243725. You can also go to hopevillagems.org and donate.
So you go online and do it.
And if you can follow Magnolia Mounts Media through the race. I'm going to be covering it every day. There will be a documentary made when all is said and done. That's a next year, release. But during the race, I'll be covering it, and I'll be consistently promoting how to raise money as well, obviously, because, that serves my purpose.
We'll be happy to share information as it comes along for your travels and as you put that out there.
I'm going to send y'all exclusives, of
Ooh,
course.
can't wait.
Of course.
We'll do that. And, WTOK has been, I've been blessed by having so much support from them. So Dr. What's this guy's name? Harrington told me one time years ago when I was doing the 444 for the first time, everybody was congratulating me on getting ready to shove off. This is a qualifier. You can't just show up to the race. You have to qualify for it. And the Natchez Trace 444 is one of them. You do the whole trace, 444 miles in 44 hours. And so I did it in 27. But before that, all the guys at Northwood are patting me on the back. I'm getting ready to go off with my 130 group. And here comes George Arrington, Dr. Arrington, and he puts his arm around me, and I'm waiting for this big congratulations, good luck. And he says, everybody in Meridian knows you're doing this race. I said, yes, sir. He says, you can't fail. You can't come back. And it has been a mantra of mine to make sure everybody knows about RAM, because if nobody knew about it, I'd put the bike in the van and say, guys, I'm done. Now it's like, I can't come back. I told my boss, Shane Rogers, I said, I'm going to sell all 14 bikes and I'm heading to Alaska and live as a hermit. I can't come back to Mississippi.
Well, Ed, I hope you'll come back and visit with us again before the race starts.
Oh, absolutely.
We're back again next month, right before you head out.
I think it's June 4th, June 5th,
we look
something like
forward to
that.
Yeah, June 4th, you'll be back again. And now, is there a minimum that you're going to do? Once I hit 320 miles for the day, I'm going to stop and rest?
We're going to make him rest.
So my crew, they're real big. We have a plan. The plan is every 6 hours I get off for 5 minutes. Time is so important, but the plan is for me to get 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night. That's mandatory. I have to get that. And so as many miles as I can put in a day so I can maintain. I'm 59. I'll age up to 60. That's another thing that's daunting because of my age. There's only 3 60-year-olds that have ever completed it. So that's another one of those, holy cow, you got that against you. But it's not, it's something that's going to feed me. But my crew is going to be responsible for everything that happens on that race.
I learned whenever I crewed the 444, the race he used to qualify, endurance cyclists don't want to quit. They don't always want to rest and take care of themselves. And it's not because they don't want to, it's because they're in the zone. Yeah. So as part of crew, that's another challenge. We have to encourage him to do all the things he has to do to stay on the bike.
Get out of the zone.
And some of the stories of these people that have not completed it.
It's awful. This guy,
delirious, not resting.
Yeah, Bob McNeese is asking my max speed. So during the day while I'm actually on the bike, if I can maintain 15, I'm trying to get Bob, I guess his name is, I'm trying to get 90 miles every 6 hours. So that's about 15 miles an hour. And we're going to do that, and we can manage
except for downhill.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's
down the mountain.
Yeah, that's he's asking what was going to be your max speed. It's going to be, overall speed should be about, while I'm on the bike, about 15. All right. But remember now, with the brakes and the sleep, it'll come down considerably. But if I maintain 11 miles an hour throughout the whole 12, I'll finish it in 12 days. That's the rule of thumb for Mr. McNeese.
All right. We appreciate it, Ed. We'll be right back and give away a coffee mug in just a moment.
Bring on the amazing colors of spring. Al's Garden and Gift, voted the best garden and gift shop, specializes in beautiful bedding and vegetable plants, shrubs, fruit trees, hanging baskets, succulents, roses, and ferns. Freshen up flower beds with mulches, soils, sod, and pine straw. Also sprouting up unique gifts, candles, pottery, gourmet sauces, spices, and food items. Come try a cool and delicious treat by Ice Cream Factory 2. It's the perfect time to spend in the yard. Bloom with happiness. Visit Al's Garden and Gift today.
Advanced Auto Glass by Joey can handle all your windshield repair and replacement needs. Service work is guaranteed and covered by warranty. Our technicians are professional, auto glass trained, and have over 100 years of combined experience. Advanced Auto Glass by Joey utilizes in-house calibrations for vehicle safety systems. Most insurances are accepted, and reliable mobile service is available in surrounding areas. Keep cars cool and secure with custom tinting, side mirror replacement, and AquaPal windshield wipers. There's one clear choice in auto glass repair. Advanced Auto Glass by Joey.
Battery power made by steel. Right now, save $50 on select AK System battery tool sets. Real steel. Find yours.
And welcome back, Scotty Ray and Odie, as we update you on what happened yesterday at Northeast High School. There was a threat made. As we pull this story up, here's what we had as we checked with Sheriff Ward Calhoun. There was a threat made to the school. At no time was there ever any danger. The person was arrested because, well, this is a serious threat as we look at this, Odie. More investigations deal with this, and it will go through youth court instead of a regular court. And again, the name of the student won't be released because it is a juvenile, but it is being handled as we found out yesterday. And there's always a scare when something like that comes out, that someone could do something.
Yeah, and your kids are involved.
Now, I got numerous messages saying, well, this whole thing was a joke. This is not something that you joke about. And I know that others who have done this, and they literally meant it as a joke, have had to do some punishment for this. And you just can't joke about something like this.
No,
not with what has happened.
No, that is not a joke. That's something that you don't kid around with. And I hope they understand this when it's all said and done.
All right, we need to do some birthdays and give away a mug there, Odie.
And yeah, let's see. We've got Landon Nixon, 19 years old today. Kim Miles Smith, 52. Tanya Gerard Woods got a birthday today. And here's a special one out of Decatur. Grace Pennington, 17 years old. And make sure the sheriff takes good care of her for this one. Carrie Miller's 31 today. Mark Major's having a birthday. Ella Temple, 17 years old. And Jerry Barlow, 77. Man, so let's see. We've got everything loaded in. We're going to hit the old button. And we're going to give this Ella Temple, 17 years old, winner of the Hyundai of Meridian Scotty Ray Report coffee mug. So, happy birthday, Miss Ella Temple.
You know, I want to bring this up. I got this picture sent in to me the other day, and I meant to show it yesterday, Odie, there, of some cows. What's special about that? There's a cow there and a baby cow.
Yeah.
Here's another cow. And, well, what happened was, let me make that a little bit bigger there. It's a rarity, from what I understand, that a cow is pregnant, having a baby, and then gets pregnant again and has them at two different times there. So that's what went on with that. I'm not a big cow expert of having birthing cow babies, but pretty big deal for them.
I guess so, yeah.
I've never done that.
Well, you know, that picture right there reminds me of Barry. He gets
on patrol.
Yeah, well, you know, he'll take
Harold.
He'll take Harold for a ride.
Well,
he did. He used to, not anymore. Harold grown up.
Took the back seat out of the
just stuffed Harold up in
car.
there. Yeah, took him for a ride. Took him for some ice cream. Bob, I used to come to the Masonic home every year for Christmas. Golly. Miss Lewis, I believe, is who you're talking about, Bob, and I can't remember her first name, but I believe it was Miss Lewis is who you're talking about.
All right. It's time for us to ease out, and we're going to leave you with a Bible verse. It means a lot to us, and we hope that it gives you some inspiration sometime today.
Yeah, so Galatians 6, verse 9, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Let's don't give up on the way our world is going, the way we're seeing everything do a decline. We can't give up. We've got to stay together. We've got to push forward. We can bring God back into our everyday conversation. We can bring God back into our schools and bring prayer back and bring this nation back to its once glory. We got to do it together, and we can only do it with the help of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I hope each one of y'all have a wonderful day. We'll be out and about today. Hopefully we'll see you or run across you somewhere. Say hey. We love it when people come and want to meet us. Until then, we'll see you in about 23 hours. Remember, we love you.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.